Hello guys, hope you all watched my previous video in which I had explained how nucleons behave in strong nuclear potential and how weak nuclear interaction is responsible for fusion. If you haven't watched my previous video, please go and watch it, link in the description. In this video, I'm going to explain the proton-proton fusion which keeps stars like our sun alive. This is Parameswaran, your physics yogi. In our previous video, I told you something and asked a question. Can you remember it? No problem. Let us watch it again. What I discussed in this video is only applicable to proton-neutron and neutron-neutron fusion. Can you guess why? Leave it in the comment box. This is what I asked. The answer is very simple. The force between proton-neutron and neutron-neutron is only nuclear force, none other than that. But the force between proton-proton is little more complicated. It is a resultant sum of both electrostatic and nuclear force. In my previous video, I discussed nuclear force and its potential only. That's why I told you like that. Now, in this video, let us talk about proton-proton fusion. To understand this, let us consider two protons separated by a distance of few femtometers. Here, there are two forces acting between them, which are electrostatic repulsive force and nuclear force. Hence, their resultant sum looks like this. Here also, if you look closely in this region, it looks familiar. Can you guess it? Yeah, it looks like a harmonic oscillator force, F equal to minus kx. So, if you place this proton in this region, it will behave like harmonic oscillator. It will exhibit oscillation about their mean position or not. To understand this proton-proton fusion even better, let us consider potential energy associated with this force. By seeing this graph, I think you grasp my point. In order to fuse this proton, first you should overcome this potential barrier of 700 kilo electron volt. For example, from infinity, if I send a proton with initial kinetic energy of 300 kilo electron volt towards this proton, what exactly will happen? As the distance between them getting smaller and smaller, approaching proton's kinetic energy will slowly decrease by increasing its potential energy. When it reaches R2, its kinetic energy becomes 0 and potential energy becomes exactly equal to initial kinetic energy. So, due to conservation of energy, it reverses its direction and again moves to infinity. From this, we can conclude that whatever the initial kinetic energy of approaching proton, if it lesser than 700 kilo electron volt means, it always bounces back to infinity. Now, from infinity, if the approaching proton's initial kinetic energy is greater than 700 kilo electron volt means, it will cross this barrier and moves into this nuclear potential. During this nuclear interaction time, if there is no energy loss occurs, due to conservation of energy, it again bounces back to infinity. Hence, without any energy loss, this approaching proton will not get bound. We already discussed this in my previous video. So, in reality, proton-proton fusion process simply looks like this. As the approaching proton gets very close, due to weak interaction between them, this proton transforms into neutron by emitting most of its energy in the form of positron and neutrino. This is what we call beta decay. Due to this, its total energy gets decreased and it becomes bound. Similarly, when this emitted positron comes in contact with nearby electron, they annihilate and release two high energy gamma ray photons. This is how proton-proton fusion releases most of its energy. Here, the fun fact is, if you try to calculate the minimum temperature required to overcome this potential barrier, you will end up getting approximately 5 billion kelvins. By seeing this calculation, proton-proton fusion in our sun seems impossible, right? Because our sun's core temperature is just 15 million Kelvin. which is 333 times smaller than that minimum temperature. So, if you calculate the average kinetic energy associated with that 15 million Kelvin, you will get approximately 2 kilo electron volts. This is very small. Classically, fusing protons in our sun is impossible. But somehow, the sun is fusing protons, right? This is possible only through quantum tunneling. The process simply looks like this. As the approaching proton gets nearer to this potential barrier, due to quantum mechanics, it just tunnels through this barrier. This is how proton-proton fusion takes place in almost every star. Note that without quantum tunneling and beta decay, our known universe would not exist. Now, another fun fact is, approaching proton spends less than 10 to the power minus 20 seconds only in this region. So, within this time interval, beta decay has to take place, otherwise it will bounce back to infinity. Here comes the problem. If you look at this proton's decay probability as a function of time, you will understand it. By seeing this graph, I think you grasp my point. Below 10 to the power minus 20 seconds, the decay probability is nearly zero. So, chances of proton-proton fusion is very rare. According to statistics, out of 10 to the power 18 collision, only one results in fusion. This is why here on Earth we are using deuterium and tritium as a fusion fuel, because fusing hydrogen and getting enough energy is very difficult. But in stars like our sun, due to huge pressure and density in its core, every second tons and tons of proton-proton fusions takes place. By this reason only, stars like our sun are alive. You will see this shortly in our next videos. Similarly, if you look proton-proton fusion probability graph as a function of initial kinetic energy, you will find that after certain point, fusion probability decreases as the initial kinetic energy increases. This is because higher the initial kinetic energy of approaching proton, less time it will spend in this region. So due to this reason, beta decay probability also becomes very low. That's why this graph looks like this. Now, from this video, I think you get a clear idea about proton-proton fusion. Again, note that without quantum tunneling and beta decay, our known universe would not exist. And what I discussed in this video is just a semi-classical view of nuclear fusion. I hope you like this video. Again, for your better intuition, look at this simulation. This is how semi-classically proton-proton fusion looks like. Thank you so much for watching this video. Please like and subscribe to my channel for future video notification. It took 2 weeks for me to prepare this video, but it takes few seconds for you to share with your friends. If you like this video, please share with your friends and support me.